The country that masters alien technology first can rule the world. They could take it over. Be in complete, absolute control. And I don't mean like not just figuring out how their flying saucers work or anything like that. I'm talking about the loaded package, everything, all the technology that they possess. You'd have to have all of it. You know, it'd be nice to have just the flying saucer technology, right? But you'd behoove yourself to have everything, because then you could take over the world. And I'm talking about, okay, recently we were just talking about this before. Jeremy Corbell, the noted documentary filmmaker and UFO investigator, was on a Fox News interview, and he talked about the way some of these craft operate. Basically, they're transmedium craft. They could actually fly in and out of water without destruction. Nothing gets destroyed. We can't do that right now. But can you imagine having that kind of technology? That would be great, right? But if you had everything else, you know, if you had all the other bells and whistles that these beings seem to possess, you'd be able to take over the world and nothing could stop you. Other countries would, bend the knee, so to speak. They would tremble in awe at your superiority. That's what would happen. So I was thinking about this, and, it's not just the technology of being able to, run rings around our current technology, our jets, fighter jets. I mean, all of that. These UFOs, our jets, our technology doesn't stand a chance against these things. Okay, they could move so fast. But what about all the other things? I mean, we've heard so many different reports from former military officials, that these flying saucers, these beings, could actually. There's been times where they would fly over a nuclear weapons facility and just shut all the systems down. They have the ability to shut down nuclear weapon systems. So you're talking about having that power, okay? That where if there's a rival country, they just wouldn't be. You had no chance. I mean, if there was a rival country that was able to obtain all that kind of technology, if, like, say China obtained it, before you knew it, before you could say Genghis Khan, we'd all be communists. All right. If Putin got it, oh boy, if he were to get that, the United States, we'd be in trouble. So we can't have that happen. We can't have anybody, have that, because you don't know. I mean, even a small group, it doesn't even need to be a country. It could be a group of people, and they could end up creating a whole new world order. And I'm talking, and not just because they would have access to, the saucer technology and the flying objects that that use some sort of electromagnetic force to get around and go and move at incredible speed. Not just that, not just the ability to shut down nuclear weapon systems, but the ability to basically make yourself invisible. Like, a lot of alien abductees, it's been reported that these beings have the ability, sometimes some of them seem to have the ability to walk through solid matter. So you're talking about that technology. How does that happen? And other people in the house that aren't targets of an abduction, somehow they get turned off like a light switch. How does that happen? So say you had that kind of technology. I mean, the possibilities of taking over the world and which way you want to do it would be endless. I mean, you wouldn't even have to, like, if you wanted to. If you had this power, you could shut down. You could come up with a plan where you shut down some bunch of rival countries' nuclear weapons facilities, shut them down so they can't retaliate, and then just launch away and then by morning you're in control of the whole world. That's how it could work if there was a country that was able to obtain the full package, the fully loaded package, the fully loaded alien technology package. And if you want, and if you were concerned about humanity and you didn't want, and you were of a country that didn't want to really go that far, you could just get rid of the people you want to get rid of without anybody knowing who did it, right? You could sneak into some tin pot dictator's room in the middle of the night, even though he's completely surrounded by guards and everyone else, and just take him away, and he disappears, and nobody knows what happened. And you install some other person that's not a tin pot dictator. I don't know. I mean, that's just, the possibilities would be endless of what you would be able to do with the alien technology if you had it, and that's why it's important that doesn't happen. Unless it's our country, United States, I wouldn't mind. I feel a little bit safer than anyway. But I'm sure everybody in everybody's respective country doesn't want to see some other country obtain that level of power, because then it's over. We're going to live under one world order, and who knows? I mean, I don't think I want to live under some dictator. That's for sure. Or communist dictator, or just tin pot dictator, or anybody. I like having elections and voting for the people I want to see in office. I think that works a lot better. It's more people oriented rather than individual. But I digress. However, now the other aspect of this is, recently we talked about there's this hybridization program going on. If the aliens wanted to take over at any time, they already know what they have and what they're able to work with. Maybe this is what that's what they've been building up to, and we don't know it yet. But we could be looking at some big surprise right down the road. If say this hybridization program has been going on for generations now, and there could be aliens among us. Actually, in fact, James Fox, another documentary filmmaker, stated earlier this year that he talked to officials higher up, and they told him that they are among us. There are some of them among us. They believe that there are some aliens among us, and we can't recognize them. So say for all these generations that's been going on, that they've been doing this hybridization program, there's a bunch of people you might even know. Okay, and they're not really human. As crazy as that sounds, but that's the premise of like books like The Threat by David Jacobs. Who he interviewed back in the 90s, a bunch of different hypnotized a bunch of different people that were alleged alien abductees, and basically what the plan is to take over. Take over at some point. And they're engaged in some sort of a hybridization program, and that there are these hybrids already among us. I mean, there was they're here, and they look. You wouldn't know them in the street. In fact, Travis Walton, when he was abducted back in '75, he said that the person, at first he saw these gray beings, but then he went into another room and there was this blonde-haired guy standing there that you wouldn't recognize him in the street as an alien, but apparently he was an alien. Was he a hybrid? Possibly, right? It's all speculation, but so if that's what they're planning, and maybe that's what we're seeing now, like we're seeing there's a lot of UFOs in the sky lately, right? Is that where we're heading? At some point here, before we even know what hit us, we'll wake up some morning and things will be changed. And we'll be looking at some alien being on TV telling us, hey, guess what? We're in control now. Calm down. Don't worry about it. And anybody who tries to do anything about it, you couldn't really plot against them anymore, because then there's already all these hybrids out there running around and you don't know who to trust. It sounds crazy, I know, and I really hope it's not true. But again, this is based on what's been written over the years, based on different research, right? Is that possible? I mean, if they wanted to, they could shut this whole thing down. They've already shown that they've done that. There was people that have come forward, different military officials, former military officials. Hey, they shut down nuclear weapon systems. Boom, there's nothing we could do. Or they could turn them on too. They could activate them. There's been reports that they activate them, and they could start World War III if they wanted to. So, again, all of this is just pure speculation. Nothing to be afraid of. Don't worry about it. This is what you get out of when you read all this material that I've read over the years. And I don't know. Again, I'm just speculating, and I don't want to scare anybody out there. But is that what's going on here? I mean, I guess that is a possibility, right? If people like Jacobs is right, and why would you have a hybridization program, and why would you try to integrate, half alien, half humans into society? For what purpose? I don't know. I mean, is it because maybe that's the way? I mean, the other reason for that could be maybe this is the way that they want to try to understand us. They can't understand us, and this is their method of doing that. I don't know. I hope that would be better than the alternative, that this is all part of some big plot that at some point it's going to reveal. They're going to reveal this plot, and before we know, there's nothing we could do, and the boss of the world will be some praying mantis sitting on a throne with a cape. Anyway, have a good night.